Are you making excuses for why you can't get in shape? Well, then listen to this story about RJ Mitte, one of the stars of the hit show Breaking Bad, and how getting fit in spite of having cerebral palsy helped him go on to an acting and modeling career and more. Roy RJ Mitte III is best known for playing Walter White Jr. on the AMC series Breaking Bad. Like his character on the show, he has cerebral palsy. Mitte was born in Jackson, Mississippi. He was delivered by emergency cesarean and was not breathing at the time of his birth, which resulted in permanent brain damage. He was adopted a few weeks later by Roy Frank Mitte Jr. and Dinah Mitte, who later separated. He was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, a condition that affects muscle coordination and movement, at the age of 3. And doctors put his legs in casts for 6 months in an attempt to straighten his feet. Mitte was fitted with leg braces and used crutches throughout most of his childhood. RJ never let cerebral palsy define him, but it did limit his physical capabilities. During his teenage years, on top of the challenges of CP, RJ found himself falling out of shape. He wasn't very active, and he wasn't prioritizing his health. A turning point came when he decided to pursue a black belt in Taekwondo. This martial art requires immense physical discipline and coordination, something that would push RJ beyond his comfort zone. Training was no walk in the park. The kicks, stances, and intricate movements were a far cry from his previous level of activity. But RJ persevered. He worked tirelessly with his instructors, adapting techniques to work with his cerebral palsy. Over time, his body became stronger through sports and exercise. He no longer needed any walking devices by his teenage years. And in 2006, he moved with his family to Los Angeles, where his younger sister had received an offer for a role in a film project. Mitte was raised by his mother following the separation of his parents. After his mother became paralyzed, Mitte became financially responsible at age 13 for the family, which by then also included his sister, who was born when he was 11 years old. After moving to Hollywood in 2006, he began training with personal talent manager. They sought acting opportunities where his disability would serve to educate viewers. And after receiving several roles as an extra, including in the Disney series Hannah Montana, he was offered the role of Walter White Jr., a character who also has cerebral palsy, in the AMC series Breaking Bad. After a number of successful seasons on the show, the Screen Actors Guild named Mitte as the spokesman for actors with disabilities. In January 2014, he began a recurring role on the ABC family drama series, Switched at Birth, portraying Campbell, a pre-med student paralyzed from a snowboarding accident who uses a wheelchair. To quote him in an article that appeared in The Guardian, he thinks there has been a genuine shift in the perception of disability on TV since he began his role on Breaking Bad, citing the number of disabled regular characters on primetime scripted series. He says, "In the States, when I started, there were 5, and now there are 11. Disability is still too often seen as a liability when it should be seen as an asset, both in actors and the characters they play. Without my disability, I wouldn't understand half the things I do today. You grow, you learn, and you suffer, and it gives you more understanding of aspects of this world." Among his other achievements, he has been involved in the Paralympics, he's been a model for Gap, and he's even appeared on the catwalk. Over 70% of our population are either morbidly obese or significantly out of shape, even though we all know deep down that we could be and do so much more if we took the time and effort to get our health and fitness in order. RJ Mitte is just one of the great examples of people who have shown us that our excuses really aren't reasons to be less than we can be. If you've made it to the end of this video, you probably know someone else who needs to watch it because it might help them overcome their own excuses.